Hey y'all, Nova here. Today I have an update video for BattleBit for you. Starting off with the MK20, its damage was increased from 45 to 47, its vertical recoil was reduced from 3.3 to 1.2, horizontal recoil was increased from 1 to 1.5, its velocity was increased from 800 to 1100, fire rate was increased from 325 to 350, ADS time was reduced from 0.35 to 0.3, running speed was increased from 0.95 to 0.96, reload speed was reduced from 1 to 0.85, and the starting magazines was reduced from 3 to 2. So we got a mix of nerfs and buffs, but for the most part, I'd say this is a huge buff to the Mark 20. Vertical recoil going from 3.3 to 1.2 is absolutely huge. It may actually be usable now, so I definitely go in and try out that Marksman rifle if you'd like. So Mark 20 looking good. Like those changes, there was basically no point to use them before this change. So now is the time. If you've ever wanted to, go try the Marksman rifles. It might be really good now. The M110 was also changed. It got its damage increased from 49 to 51. Its vertical recoil was reduced from 3 to 1.5. Its horizontal recoil was increased from 1 to 2.5. Its velocity was increased from 800 to 1000. They reduced its fire rate from 350 to 300. Its control was reduced from 0.57 to 0.54. Its reload speed was reduced from 1 to 0.85, and the starting magazines were also reduced from 3 to 1. So a lot less magazines, but again, it has that huge recoil nerf. Well, really a buff to the gun, nerf to the recoil. Great changes again. I think that the M110 will definitely be usable now. It was actually usable with the long barrel before, but now it's really good, especially going from 49 to 51. You should be able to one tap some people now, or two tap, I mean, even without the long barrel, I'd assume. So M110 looking good, especially the recoil changes is really what we needed. So good changes there. MK14, same thing. It looks like this is the DMR buffs. So vertical recoil was reduced from 2.2 to 1.3. The horizontal recoil was increased from 1 to 1.2. First shot kick was increased from 1 to 1.5. Velocity was increased from 700 to 900. Control was increased from 0.57 to 0.68. Pretty big change there. ADS time was reduced from 0.3 to 0.28. And again, the starting magazines were reduced from 3 to 2. So again, less magazines with all of them, but recoil really reduced, not as much as the other ones. The other ones went by about 1.5, and this one only went for about 0.9, but still a pretty big reduction. Definitely say that MK14 is looking real juicy right now. It does good damage. It's fully auto, way less recoil. Definitely suggest trying it out. So with the SVD, they reduced its damage from 42 to 41. They reduced its recoil from 1.8 to 1.4 for the vertical recoil. The horizontal recoil was also reduced from 1.3 to 1.1. Velocity was increased from 740 to 950. Control was increased from 0.57 to 0.65. ADS time was reduced from 0.3 to 0.28. Reload speed was reduced from 1 to 0.8. And the starting magazines were reduced again from 3 to 2. Not as big as buffs to this gun. Honestly, it didn't feel that good. It doesn't do very much damage, 41 damage. It has very little recoil though, 1.1 and 1.4 respectively. So it may be okay. I'm not a huge fan of this. I like it in other games, but in this game it's never felt really good. It maybe feel slightly better now, but I think that M110 will be a lot better than the SVD, honestly. So for the server browser, there were some changes recently made to that. It says that searching will ignore all filters and sort on top based on best matches. Filtering categorized to official servers, community servers, and modded servers, so you can choose which servers you want to see. I think by default they said official servers will be unchecked so that you can go see the community and modded servers, which makes sense. Servers will no longer move up or down when the server browser refreshes. Thank goodness, it's so annoying when you were about to click on a server and it disappeared. And then overall text contrast rework to attempt to make it easier to read. Sounds like Larry's work to me, but maybe it's okay, who knows. Good changes there. I'm glad they made it easier. Great to see. So here are some map changes that we have from Velasquez. They said that the final batch of old maps will now be available on custom servers, mostly Conquest, so Old Wakistan, Old Sandy Sunset, Old Wine Paradise. He made some changes to oil dunes. The ambient lighting has become a little bit brighter. And for Frugris, they nerfed a spot in the subway to deploy a rally point outside subway tunnels. Interesting, I did not know about that spot. Okay, so we have some other bug fixes. Apparently there was laggy player movement for other players. And then also the MK14's velocity wasn't applied, but now it's fixed, so that's a good change. Hit detection for mines, claymores, C4, and drones has been fixed, and then players who wouldn't be able to use C4, mines, or other gadgets if they were to place them while switching guns quickly and firing. They fixed that bug too. Pretty small bugs there, but good changes. And then we have some more weapon changes as well. Starting with the M9, the damage was increased from 30 to 32, vertical recoil was increased from 0.4 to 0.8, they increased the horizontal recoil from 0.4 to 0.6, fire rate was increased from 400 to 600, velocity was increased from 250 to 300, sound spread was lowered from 600 to 450, draw speed was increased from 1 to 2, that's a lot faster draw speed, like to see it. Magazine size was increased from 12 to 13. Interesting changes. I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little bit nerfs, a little bit buffs here and there. It's probably a lot better than it was before, but especially with that fire rate from 400 to 600, that's like a 50% increase in fire rate. So looking good. You know, it's the M9. I'm not going to use it, but it's looking good. The MP443, its damage was increased from 25 to 27. The horizontal recoil was increased from 1 to more deep. What? Oh, 0.1 to 0.3. Velocity was increased from 300 to 350. Fire rate was increased from 700 to 750. Sound spread was lowered from 600 to 450. Draw speed was increased from 1 to 2. They're really trying to make it pistols, you know, worth it to switch to your pistol instead of reloading. Good changes there. The magazine size was increased from 16 to 17. Okay. USP, it had changes as well. Damage was increased from 25 to 30. Vertical recoil was increased from 0.4 to 0.7. Horizontal recoil was increased from 0.4 to 0.5. Velocity was increased from 250 to 320. Fire rate was increased from 500 to 650. Sound spread was lowered from 600 to 450. Draw speed was increased from 1 to 2. Magazine size increased from 12 to 15. Great changes. That's actually looking like a pretty good gun. 30 damage. Sounds good to me. The Glock 18 damage was increased from 17 to 19. Sound spread was lowered from 600 to 450. Draw speed was increased from 1 to 1.75. Not 2, so it'll draw slightly slower than the other guns, and its magazine size was increased from 16 to 19. That's good. With 16 volts, it's pretty hard to get more than 2 kills with the Glock 18. With 19, you could probably actually get 3 kills. So, big buffs to the Glock 18 for sure. The Unica's damage was lowered. That's sort of weird. I didn't use a Unica already. It sort of felt like shit. It'll go from 60 to 56. Oh, but its light damage was increased from 0 to 10. That's interesting. So overall, it got a 6 increase to damage. I don't know what light damage is though. Anyways, vertical recoil was lowered from 6 to 5. That's still ridiculously high recoil. Horizontal recoil was lowered from 4 to 3.5, still really high. First shot kick was lowered from 1.5 to 1.1. Running speed was lowered from 1.1 to 1.0. That's such a small change, bro. Reload speed was increased from 1 to 1.2. Draw speed was increased to 1 to 1.5. And the headshot multiplier is 1.5. Apparently, the default was 1.2 for pistols. Well, now with the Unica, you could, if it goes 56, but then you add the 10, maybe you couldn't one-shot people, but you could get pretty close. The RSH damage was increased. That's good because this gun was absolute trash. From 60 to 72, light damage was increased from 5 to 30. Wow, increase of 25. Vertical recoil was lowered from 9 to 5. Good change. Horizontal recoil increased from 4 to 5. First shot kick lowered from 1.5 to 1.1. Velocity increased from 350 to 550. Accuracy was increased from 73 to 78. Reload speed was increased from 1 to 1.2. Draw speed was increased from 1.2 to 1.3. And the headshot multiplier is 1.5. RSH may be usable now. Honestly. Especially with the nerfs coming to the Deagle. Oof. Damage was lowered from 90 to 69. Yikes, bro. The light damage was lowered from 40 to 30. So that's huge nerfs. Horizontal recoil was increased. First shot kick was increased. The recoil was 3.5 to 4 and the first shot was 1 to 1.1. Velocity was lowered 600 to 400. Accuracy was lowered from 85 to 78. Draw speed was increased. I don't know if the Deagle needed this many nerfs, honestly. I mean, that, like, I understand trying to make other pistols viable, but maybe buff them instead of nerfing the Deagle. I mean, the Deagle was fine, but it didn't feel OP to me. It just felt decent. Of course, they have more stats than me, so maybe there's something I don't know. But those are big nerfs. I mean, they lowered the damage by like 21, and they lowered the light damage by 10. They increased the recoil, lowered the velocity, lowered the accuracy, and increased the draw speed. That's pretty crazy. Okay. Favorite servers, we have more changes now. Favorite servers will no longer disappear when the server changes their time. There was a rare case bug where the boat and helicopter minigun would continue to fire if the player who uses it disconnected. They fixed that. A bug where sniper sway wouldn't be applied while sending vehicles. They fixed that as well. They fixed anti-vehicle grenades will detonate on impact on vehicles now. Good, maybe more usable. Still won't use them though. And there was a rare bug where players spawning in with no attachments was fixed, where the player would request to deploy as a different class and weapons and the server would deny and place default weapon attachments. Never had that bug, but great to see that they're fixing it. Overall, looking pretty good. There's some questionable changes here and there, but I think it's a pretty good changes overall. I'm glad to see that they have some weapon just balancing coming into play. You know, earlier on they sort of were of the mind that they weren't hardly ever going to do weapon balancing, just unless there was like a consensus from the community, but it definitely looks like they're sort of going back on that and making changes here and there where it seems worth it. So big changes to pistols, big changes to marksman rifles. If you want to try marksman rifles, I'd highly suggest doing it now while they're strong. Make sure that you're going and checking out the community servers. There's a bunch out, a lot that are fun. You can probably level up in them faster than you can in the official servers because some have like instant respawn stuff. So definitely take advantage of that while you can. Definitely haven't been playing as much BattleBit Remastered lately just because I sort of got burnt out on it and all, but I will continue to make update videos and videos whenever big things come out. I don't think that I'm going to continue doing the devcast recaps anymore. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should, but it's just a lot. You know, I have to listen to it for almost an hour and then make notes and make a video over it, and honestly they just haven't been doing, those videos haven't been doing as well as they used to. I think it's partly because the player base has been getting smaller, so I'll probably stop making those for the time being. Maybe I'll go back to it in the future, but other than that, that should be about all. I'm thinking about doing some videos where I check out some community servers in the coming future, and I'm looking forward to when Tarkov Arena comes out. I'm going to be trying to covering that a bunch when that comes out. And other than that, I've sort of been floundering, honestly. I thought I would cover Dark and Darker a fair amount, but it hasn't been as fun recently. I don't know what it is. I've not been enjoying the meta very much. It's not very fun. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Sort of taking a break from all the content creation and waiting for something to come out that I can cover like with all of my power. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this update video. I'll continue to do these for sure. And if you want more BattleBit content, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I'll be trying, I think I'm going to start streaming every day if I can in the morning. So I'll start streaming at like 9 a.m. CST generally, and I'll probably stream for about a couple hours each day. And I'll see how that goes. I haven't had much luck in the past streaming in the morning, but I might have more luck if I do it consistently. We'll just see, get those EU people, get those people at work who have nothing to do, and entertain them to the best of my ability. For anyone who doesn't know, I do stream on YouTube, not Twitch, though I may try out Twitch in the future. I just don't really like Twitch. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my channel members, Jed, Hastral, and Professor Oak for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, good luck in your battles this week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, y'all.